Welcome back to the show. Let's go to line number 2. Good morning, Jim Learning. You're on the air.
Morning, Betty. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Good, thanks. The first thing I'd like to say is what Mr. Whittle had to say. He's right on absolutely 2 counts. First of all, don't cut any more education. Second, people get involved. That's one of the biggest problems we have on this territory and on that island is that people are discarded. They elect these clowns and they just run their own course. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further with that.
Okay.
But for sure, what he said is absolutely right.
And I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, and it should be heeded. Most important thing in the world, education. So I stop, I will. About Muskrat Falls, I took a trip up the other day to Lab City for some medical reasons. And looking at the devastation and destruction along the way was just heartbreaking. Absolutely. All I'm doing this morning is miserating because I don't know what else to say. This is just, it's terrible. It's absolutely destructively terrible. The environmental rip is deep. And who takes the brunt of that? Labrador. People on the island who've discarded it's just Labrador, well, thank you very much. I guess that's all we mean to you.
Well, do you get a lot of that sentiment, though, Jim? Like, I would never, and I can understand the mindset that would say, oh, well, it's only Labrador. I mean, do you actually feel that, or are people actually saying that out loud? Because I've never heard anybody say anything of the sort.
You know something? I have heard it said, but I don't put much stock in what I just said there. I'm reflecting frustration.
Okay.
Because if, in fact, the people on the island would have stood up, you're the majority, okay? We can't get away from that. We have 27,000-plus people. When you guys decide you're going to roll on something, you roll on. It was demonstrated in spades when the town hall survey that was taken during the JRP hearings, 83% of Labradorians said no to that project, 59 submissions against it, and still, all Donnerdale did was dismiss it out of hand. We have a majority government. We're going to do what we're going to do. And she was virtually saying, and she said later, we own that up there. We're going to do what we want with it. That's exactly what she said when Quebec fought back. That's what I'm really talking about, the undercurrent of the indifference. I know there are environmental people on the island who are just tore up about this, but they have no more traction than environmentalists here in the territory. And the point is, 83% of our people stood against it, and we were crushed, literally crushed, by this damn sanctioning of this project.
Yeah, and of course, no one on the island had any say either, and that doesn't make it any better.
That's exactly my point about
yes, I know, I understand.
Mr. Whittle here this morning. We don't speak up. Well, we here in the territory are suffering big time with the environmental rip that this happening. I mean, there's 3 caribou herds that are going down because of this, and they are going down. The habitat's been taken away. The wolf population will increase. It's not, well, what the hell do you say about it? Stupid.
Well, you know, it's remarkable, but one of the last considerations given to the debate on Muskrat Falls, by and large, and that's my own personal experience being on the show, is that the last thing people talked about was the environmental issue. They talked about the business model and the process for approval and the PUB and everything else, and very, very little conversation was even associated with the environmental issue, whether it be the loss of habitation and or methyl mercury or anything else, sir. It was absolutely not on the radar for the vast majority of people.
No, and you know, as we all know, downstream is methyl mercury poisoning. Add to what's already coming down from Lake Michikamau. So, no, we were told straight out, don't ever try to fight this on the environmental issue. You'll get nowhere. Well, we fought it on that because that's what we believe in.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I tell you what, I went to jail because of it. I can't say any more than that.
No, that's right.
So I mean, I've said my piece, but what bothers me is the silence. And people are, you know, it's happening yet again. The silence. That's why Mr. Whittle called you this morning. The silence is deafening. When are people going to stand up? And you don't get this anywhere else. Not this level of silence. It's dead. I know Judge Sullivan has tried to address it several times. He didn't say it directly, but what he was saying, I'm sure, in most of his articles, wake up, people, you're about to get snowed again. So that's my message this morning, if there's any message. This is not a positive conversation. I hate it.
No, and that's okay, Jim, and you're always welcome to call the show whenever you think there's too much silence on any issue, Muskrat Falls or anything else. That's I think, in large part, the beauty of the program. And I'm glad you called this morning, sir, and I look forward to speaking with you every time.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Bye-bye.